The best of money matters. The Big Story.
Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, with Valentine's Day tomorrow, love is certainly in the air. From heartfelt gestures to romantic dinners, it's a time when many of us celebrate connection and affection. But unfortunately, amidst all the love and joy, cybercriminals are also sharpening their tactics, taking advantage of people's emotions to exploit them financially. We've seen a sharp rise in romance scams with cases like Singaporean actor Lawrence Pang losing $35,000 to a love scam and pig butchering scams, draining 12.5 million Sing dollars from Singaporeans in just the first half of 2024. Now, these scams are becoming more sophisticated, with scammers leveraging fake relationships and fraudulent investment schemes to deceive victims. So how can we protect ourselves in a world where online romance scams are becoming more common and harder to detect? Well, joining us today is Philip Sow, who is the head of systems engineering of South Korea as well as the Asia region at Proofpoint, to share insights on the current landscape of romance scams, how scammers are evolving their tactics, and most importantly, how we can stay safe in the face of these threats. So, hello, Philip. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Hongbin. Thank you for having me. And a very early happy Valentine's to everyone listening in.
Happy Valentine's Day Eve for you as well. Well, Philip, I just want to have some background information here. What does the current romance scam landscape look like? Are you seeing any particular trends in Singapore?
I would say scam in general. I mean, actually growing up, the trend is actually heading up. It's a major security, threats concern globally, and definitely in Singapore as well. So romance scams, often leading to investment scam, is the same. So we have observed that these scams are evolving in sophistication, with cybercriminal leveraging on technologies to get close to the victims and using social engineering tactics to manipulate victims over extended period. Now, close to home in Singapore, we are also seeing a rise in scam that blends traditional romance fraud with cryptocurrency investment scheme. That is often referred to the pig butchering scam that you mentioned earlier. It's just in the headline just a few days ago that we saw that there's at least like 32.6 million that's been lost over in a month, which is since January. Now it's only February, so it's not that since January we are seeing a big number. Yeah.
Okay, so why do people usually fall for these love scams then? Would you say scammers are becoming more organized and sophisticated, which makes these scams harder to detect?
Yes. I mean, like for romance scams, they typically try to exploit human emotion, which is why they are so effective. So scammers take advantage of like people's loneliness, trust and desire for connections. They take the effort to build relationship over weeks or even months before they request money or introducing their investment, fraudulent investment opportunity. Right? So these scams don't rely on the technical hacking, but rather social engineering, which are also known as human hacking. Then, remember, defenders like us are not the only one that is leveraging on technology. It is the same also for the bad guys, right? So, scammers today, they are leveraging on technologies to reach out to their target, using social media platform. And with AI these days, scammers are also using AI-generated deepfake profiles, videos, audios to enhance their phishing tactics, and that actually make it very difficult for individuals to distinguish between what's real and what's not, the identities online. So it becomes even more important for people when they're engaging, online is to verify the identities and kind of know what are the red flags to look out for.
Right. Is there a certain age group that scammers typically target, or is it across the board?
I would say it's across the board.
Okay.
People tend to think that it will only be the older people that's actually falling for scams. But actually, we do actually see a trend that even people below 50, they're actually falling for it as well, right? So again, a lot of people are on social media these days, so there's a lot of activities online,
right.
And this scammers, they know where to look for their targets. They are also online. They are putting up things to actually to attract people as well.
Yeah, I mean, with the involvement involvement with AI and deep fakes, I mean, it's harder to detect even for the tech-savvy people. I mean, many people think they would never fall for a romance scam, yet these fraudsters are incredibly skilled at manipulation. What makes these scams so convincing, even for smart and cautious individuals?
Yeah, like typically these scams, they are like meticulously crafted to exploit human emotions, right? So scammers, they will actually, like those social engineering, they will actually go on to social media website, portals. They will actually look for information. They will do their homework, then they will craft very detailed, believable personas that will resonate emotionally with their target. And like I mentioned earlier, right, it's like, they will actually spend a long time to understand the victim's background, right? They will look into, for example, the social media platform to understand what is their activities, what have they been doing, what's their hobby, right? They will actually spend time to build this trust, right, before making their move.
I see. I mean, usually scammers invest weeks or even months, as you mentioned, into building this trust before making their move. Can you break down the typical process of how a scammer operates from the initial contact to, financial exploitation?
Yeah, so there's a few stages.
Okay.
We talk about, like making the initial contact. So this is where scammers will actually do their homework. They will go through social medias, or like dating apps, dating platform, and then some of them they will even like send an unsolicited message. In fact, today I just received one. Right, I just received one. Yes, I just received one on my WhatsApp telling me, calling me a name, and then kind of trying to get my response. So like they'll try to make initial contact, and then once contact is established, they will try to, continue from there, right? They will try to talk to you, and then that's where the next step starts, right? Once you start to respond, they will then start to do this relationship building, right? They won't be asking for money or asking you to do the investment immediately, right? They will try to engage in conversation, and then, you're probably very polite, very helpful, trying to establish the emotional connections. Right, they're trying to try to be your friend, and then they will start to kind of like manipulate you once they think that they have your trust. And once trust is established, right, that's again then the next steps, right? So once trust is established, then they will talk about topic, that probably be finance, investment. Then they will maybe bring up things like, cryptocurrency, whereby there is a very big, good opportunity that you shouldn't be missing. And like human, we have this fear of missing out factor, right? Then. And since you trusted, this person on the other side, and you will start to invest. That is where we talk about exploitation. Right? Once you started, they will ask you to transfer fund, and then they will tell you, maybe there's urgency that you got to do it now. Don't miss the opportunity. It's too great to be missed. And then you start to pump in the money. That's where they will exploit you, and then trying to do continuous deception.
I see.
These are the multiple stages, right, typically.
Right. Is there like a certain amount that scammers are trying to pull out from an individual?
The amount can actually range from, from hundreds to thousands. We have actually seen that on average, I think the amount of scam is ranging of like 47,000 to 50,000.
Wow.
That was like the amount that we are seeing. But of course, that there could be like individuals who are losing thousands. But I'm very sure you read from the news that like there are victims that actually lose their entire life saving.
Even fake investment opportunities, as you mentioned earlier, especially in cryptocurrency, seem to be a common theme in modern romance scams. Why is crypto such an attractive tool for scammers? Is it because it's hard to, trace back to who is receiving cryptocurrencies?
Yes, you are definitely right. One of the difference between cryptocurrencies and the traditional fund transfer is that cryptocurrency actually present a certain level of like anonymity. You actually make it very difficult to trace the flow of fund back to the scammer, right? So this actually reduce the risk of detections, making it easier for the scammers to actually operate without getting caught. And also for cryptocurrency, once the transaction is completed, it cannot be reversed. Right, this means that once the scammer receives the fund, they are basically like secure, right? They have hit their objective. Also, the technical complexity of like cryptocurrency, it actually confuse victims. A lot of victims they don't understand cryptocurrency enough. And if you talk about investing in cryptocurrency, again, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of news article talking about the people are actually making millions of dollars from cryptocurrency. It's kind of like a garbage thing, and this is why a lot of people they fall for it, and it's also a good opportunity, a good tool for scammer as well.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about some of the red flags that we can, spot for these scammers. So for those new to online dating or talking to strangers online, what are the biggest warning signs that someone might be a scammer?
Firstly, I would say, if you start to have, like the pretty faces, handsome faces, that's too polite, too kind, too nice, they reach out to you. I would say, be very careful. And another thing is that as the conversation goes, one of the major red flags is that like scammers will avoid face-to-face meeting. Remember we talked about them using, leveraging on like AI deepfake, deepfake video, deepfake audio. And this definitely will be discovered if you talk about, them coming face to face, right? So they will avoid face-to-face meeting, to avoid, being discovered, avoid getting caught. And then also things like professing, like a profess of love too quickly, too early, or like asking money from you. I think these are actually some of the red flags that we should be, looking out for.
I see. So which platforms are also most commonly used for romance scams today? Are they particularly more along the dating platforms and the dating apps, or, are social media sites and messaging apps also being exploited here?
Definitely, I would say like across all platforms. I myself, I actually very often receive messaging message on the messaging apps, and like I think in the news that we are seeing recently, there's definitely a lot of reports coming from like dating platforms, right? I won't specifically name any of the platform because I think that the risk it actually exists across all platforms because like scammers doesn't actually choose like which platform is to work on, right? As long as there are people and people are vulnerable, right? So they will just go to the different platform. They will kind of hunt for their target. Social media, messaging app, dating platform, and even investment platform as well. Investment platform, investment tools, investment like chat group. These are all actually like potential places that scammers are actually looking for their targets.
I see. It sounds like it's very hard to run away from these scammers. But, beyond financial loss here, romance scams leave victims emotionally devastated, often feeling too ashamed to, report the crime. What can be done to encourage more victims to come forward?
Firstly, we need to reduce the stigma and empower victims to report the incidents. We need to offer them a secure, confidential avenue. Allow them to feel safe. They don't have to be worried about them being judged. A lot of times when people fall for like such scams, they will feel that I'm stupid. I'm doing the wrong thing. People will be laughing at me. Like that is really not the case, right? So we need to actually offer them a safe place for them to do so. That it's okay, right? We need to actually come up and talk about it. I think also like in Singapore, in the recent incident, there was also a veteran Singapore actor that actually like fall for it.
Right.
He was initially very embarrassed to talk about it, but thankfully, right, he actually come up, talk about it, and that actually helped create awareness of scams. Targeting his age group. So I think like this is really good. So reduce the stigma, creating a safe space for them to do so is very important.
Right. Well, scammers don't just disappear after stealing money, right? Some victims are targeted again through so-called recovery scams where fraudsters pose as law enforcement or financial recovery agents. How can people avoid falling victim twice?
Yeah, again, it's very important. To stay ahead, right? To stay updated, of activity of like such scams activities that we are actually seeing. I think like in Singapore, the Singapore police force are actually doing a very good job. There's a lot of articles, there's a lot of campaigns that's actually been put up, and also there is actually a scam shield like helpline. Available 24/7, Monday to Sunday. So, for scam victim, firstly, like report it, right? Report it. And then if there's any, unsure, like double check, call the helpline, to validate, right? That do not stay silent. Do not think that there's no help available.
I see. Well, as a leading cybersecurity company, Proofpoint is dedicated to helping individuals stay informed and protected against evolving threats. So with the rise in romance scams, how is Proofpoint actively working to raise awareness and provide solutions for people to stay safe?
Yeah, so we are definitely doing a lot here. I mean, we kind of take a factual approach whereby we look at a variety of activities. So in Proofpoint, we have a very big, large threat research and intelligence teams, whereby we track threat actors, we monitor threat campaigns, we look into the, emerging scam tactics, right? So we'll look at it, we'll analyze, we'll pull out this data regularly, and then we post them on our website for mass awareness. Right, so this is telling the mass what's going on, and also there is this educational initiative whereby we help organizations to develop comprehensive security awareness program, right, to educate the people on the latest scam tactics, and then this will actually include what's happening, what are the latest trends, how scammers are actually using what kind of lure. Like for example, if it's Valentine's Day, if it's income tax periods, what are the scammers, what are they using to trick user, to spoof user, to kind of fish them, right? So we constantly provide such training to organizations, to their users, to keep their user updated on what to look out for, what are the do's and don'ts.
Yeah. I see. Well, are there any new trends you predict will emerge in the romance scam landscape over the next year?
No, with the use and the growth of our generative AI, what we are actually looking at is that there's going to be more deepfake profile messages. There's going to be more use of AI, the scammer side to trick individuals, right? Because again, like we mentioned earlier, right, it's actually very difficult, for the individuals to tell, what's real and what's not. As these social media, start to gain popularities, scammer will probably start to shift, their focus to all this, the more popular platform. Whereby, again, depending on what are the teams that is actually getting popular, but definitely, shifting their focus to more on social media. And probably also, beyond traditional romance narratives, scammers will probably also broaden their appeals with lucrative, job offers of employment.
I see.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And before we let you go here, Philip, if you had to just give one key piece of advice to help people protect themselves from online romance scams, what would it be?
Be vigilant, stay updated, right? And remember, when it's too good, too nice to be true, it's probably not, right?
Yeah.
There's this 3 Ps that I always look at, right? Like pretty polite people, if someone came about, pretty faces, too polite, too nice, these are things that I will be very careful about. Yeah.
That would be a big red flag. Well, thank you so much, Philip, for joining me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. That was Philip Sow, who is the head of systems engineering of Southeast Asia and Korea at Proofpoint. This has been the big story where we talked about how you can stay vigilant against scams this Valentine's Day. I've been your host, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.